Business rules establish normal patterns for getting work done efficiently. Point out unusual data values that merit added investigation, and assures that data used to make decisions have a high probability of meeting Alcoa Plus attributes. As far as equipment differences, there are a wide variety of systems and equipment used in GXP processes. It is unreasonable to expect off-the-shelf business rule checks. Vendors just don't put them in their systems. Occasionally you might find one. Sometimes the more sophisticated, like eLab notebooks, may have some things that flag problems if they're really sophisticated, but most like lab systems just won't have them. So the reality is that business rules must be developed for the specific processes or systems. Something as simple as a different model of equipment can change DI vulnerabilities. They may either start doing or stop doing something that can create a new vulnerability or change what you had before. While there is an opportunity to reuse the rules, there's no substitute for continuously improving those rules over time to assure they meet the quality objectives of the firm. You really need to re-examine them as you go. So some examples: security roster. List of personnel sorted by security role. Special attention should be paid to roles with enhanced rights, approval rights, or any modification rights, because those particular roles can do things that most average users can't do, and they can move things through. So you need to be looking at those and make sure if something changes, that those rights change accordingly. Access change history, a list of changes in access rights over time in case somebody's doing something inappropriate, like popping somebody into an admin role so they can do things and then popping them back out. Look for those kind of things. Date of last access. If someone no longer requires access to the system, you need to remove their access so they can't get back into the system and do anything they shouldn't be doing. Vendor accounts. This is a reported list of vendor or non-employee accounts. Ideally, it also includes the date of access by any vendor. So if you've had to grant a vendor access to the system to do things like, qualified or requalified or things like that, as soon as that vendor is finished, you need to remove their access so that there's not like an open account that's in there, and you should actually shut that account off so it cannot be used by anyone else. Elevated accounts. This is a list of elevated accounts and compares it to a list of approved elevated accounts. So for instance, the system administrator. If a system administrator can do anything like release batches and all kinds of stuff within the system, and therefore, if somebody accidentally gets it, if somebody checks the wrong box and they get admin access, you need to make sure that they're approved to have it and not in the business area. So if they do have it, it needs to be removed. Important changes to the system. This report scans the system log and extracts changes to the system clock or recycle bin or any other system event like that might be important to test or check. So you really ought to have them locked out of the ability to change the system clock, but if you can't, you need to monitor for it so that you can catch it if it happens.